right, so for your pumpkin pot holder, you'll need 2 pieces of fabric for your pumpkin, and these 2 pieces need to be about the size of a piece of paper, so 8.5 by 11. You'll need your pumpkin template printed out, a 3 by 5 piece of fabric for your stem, piece of batting and Insulbrite, so those are about the same size as your fabric. You'll need pins, fabric scissors, paper scissors, a marking tool, your sewing machine, and thread. So your first step is to print and cut out your pumpkin template. And now you're going to have your fabric pieces right sides together, and you're going to put your template on top and go ahead and pin that into place. Take your marking tool and go ahead and trace around the template shape. I'm using a pencil here because it's the wrong side of the fabric, so it won't be showing anyway. Now, once you've finished tracing, go ahead and take those pins out, remove your template, and then I like to add my pins back in because we are cutting 2 layers of fabric. So I go ahead and repin that. And then I cut out my shapes. Once you've cut out both shapes, go ahead and remove your pins again. And then we're going to repeat that same process on the batting and the Insulbrite. Okay, now we're going to prepare our stem. So you'll need your 3 by 5 piece of fabric, and we're going to fold up the long edges about 1/4 of an inch. And then being very careful with your iron, you're going to press it into place. And you're going to do the same thing with the other long side, fold it up 1/4 of an inch and press it down. And then you're just going to fold that piece in half. So now you have the 2 folded edges lined up together, and then press that. And now you're going to take it to your sewing machine and you're going to sew along that edge you just folded to close it up. So here we have our sewn edge, and now we're going to layer it with our pumpkin pieces and our batting. So you're going to put the raw edges towards the raw edges of your pumpkin right in the middle and sandwich it between the two pumpkin pieces, and then you'll add your Insulbright and then your batting piece. So once again, we've got pumpkin piece, right sides together, sandwiched between is your stem, and then you have your Insulbright and your batting. And we're going to pin it into place, making sure to get that stem pinned in so it doesn't come out when you're sewing it. So I like to mark where the opening is going to be. So I'm going to leave one of the sides open about 2 or 3 inches, and then I'm going to sew all the way around, leaving that opening to turn out later. Make sure to backstitch at the beginning and the end. So we have all layers sewn together, and then we have our opening. At this point, I like to trim off any excess bulk. So see right there, there's a little bit of extra batting and fabric. I'm just going to trim it just a little bit so that it helps when we're turning it right sides out. Another way to reduce bulk whenever you are doing a curved piece, you can do these tiny little slits all the way around your curves, and when you turn it around, it makes it a little bit easier for them to make an actual circle. So you're just cutting little slits around, being very careful not to get too close to the stitchy line. And now you're going to go through that opening, and you're going to go between the two pumpkin fabrics, and you're going to start to turn it right side out. Go slowly and make sure you're not pulling it too tight through that opening. And now all you're doing is just pulling out all the sides, making sure everything's nice and flat and all the seams are pulled out nicely. So that opening, you're going to want to fold in those raw edges, tuck them in, and then you're going to give them a good press. And that will help when we're sewing the top stitching in just a little bit. So go ahead and press that edge and then press all the way around your pumpkin, and that'll help when you're top stitching. I'm just going to take it to the sewing machine and sew all the way around using about 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So I've finished my sewing, and I made sure to close up that edge that was open, and I've gone all the way around. Next step is optional, but if you want to create the lines in your pumpkin, I grabbed a chalk pencil so it'll erase later, and I'm just creating my lines that I'm going to follow with my stitches. So I just did kind of a shape in the middle and then 2 on either side of it. And then I just took it to my sewing machine and I stitched along the line that I traced. And there you have your pumpkin.